Hey coaches, so just a quick video on setting a full agreement with a client. In the beginning of coach training, we talked about that START model of agenda setting, which is really just a derivative of the International Coach Federation markers of success for setting up, establishing a coach agreement. What we want to do is to move away from needing to follow a structure, which is kind of like the training wheels of coaching, and move into a bit more of awareness focus. How, as a coach, can I be less focused on a sequence of START and more focused on how full is this agenda right now? How close are we to a full agreement? To do this, there are two little tips that I'm going to share today. First off, we want to be asking ourselves consistently throughout the beginning of a coaching session, based on what I'm hearing, what I'm listening to deeply, what's needed most? What's the next thing that we need most to make this a full agenda? Is it a sense of where is this headed? We want to ask result-oriented questions. Is it a sense of, wow, this is big, or this could probably go a few different ways? We want to ask area-based questions. And this seems maybe a little bit shallow. Well, let's ask a few significance and meaning style questions, some potential for transformation, and to be willing to go back and forth, just having a sense of, okay, now I think the client's voiced where they want to be at the end of the session, but as I'm hearing that, it does, again, feel a little bit shallow. So maybe I'll ask what makes that destination, that practical takeaway they'd like by the end of the session, so important to them. And that may begin a new, deeper process of setting the full agreement. So to really have a more impactful and powerful agreement, it's important for the coach to be aware of how well we are filling the buckets of tar of transformation, awareness, and results, instead of just asking one or two questions sequentially in that order. The other tip is what's naturally come up so far based on our previous work, based on our session so far today. What has this client said or indicated or demonstrated that helps fill in some of these buckets already? In those cases, we might just confirm or reconfirm what they really want out of the session. And that can just be by reflecting it, by saying, as you were answering that question, I heard a real sense of you want to be here by the end of this coaching session. Does that reflect what you want out of our time today? Now, this often will come into play when you're asking a question of transformation and they answer in terms of measurable result, or you ask about measurable result and they answer the question of areas to address or whatever it might be. You want to, instead of asking the question sequentially, you want to hear what they are saying, regardless of what question you asked. You want to hear if they hear and know the full agreement of the session. And that's what it comes down to. It's not about the coach checking their boxes, but helping the client have a sense of a fullness of this coaching agreement. I hope this is helpful. Thank you for coaching and thank you for taking things deeper with your clients.